It's finally out, and what a way to end the year. I can't believe this is actually the last review I'm going to be filming for the year. 100 movies I watched in 2022, give or take, and which might seem like a lot, but I'm pretty sure there are hundreds to thousands of films that come out in a year, whether it's released in film festivals or theatrically, worldwide or domestically. But while I can discuss a ton of that in my top 10 of 2022 video that will come out at the end of the year, after closing out the year with the highly anticipated Avatar: The Way of Water, will end up on that list. No. Did it at least meet my expectations? Sort of, kind of, maybe. Did I like it? Yeah. Did I hate it? No. I hated many parts of it. I liked the parts of it, and I hated some, but did I ever love the movie at any point? Did I love the movie at any point in the movie? I mean, when I could see some of the most beautiful shots of the year on screen with silence in the theater, and all I could do was just enjoy the privilege. I had the chance to watch it on the big screen. It was I saw this movie in 3D, not IMAX, but not just some regular screening. Tickets were sold out. It was me, my father, my two brothers seeing the first movie. I'd seen it in a while in 3D, I think. I can't even recall if I saw a 3D movie this year or even last year. It's just, I'll get more into this later, but I should say what I thought of the first movie before going into this. Well, I was 4 or 5 when that movie came out, so I didn't watch it on the big screen then, which definitely makes me understand the, well, it got me confused growing up about the boom of 3D, and as it died out, because obviously, watching the movie itself, it's still a great film, or at least a really good one. Yeah, I really don't know what to get into much specifics without, having to compare this to that to this movie, so I should probably just wait till that comes up in the review. And as I'll for sure compare and contrast it with this film throughout the review. With that said, what did I think of Avatar: The Way of Water? But before I say that, I need some water. I film all these reviews back to back, okay? I'm just tired. So, written by Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, and of course, it's written and directed by James Cameron, known for his other sequels like Piranha II, The Spawning. He made the Terminator 2 and Aliens, and I'm saying this. The movie follows Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, now the chief of the Na'vi. My mistake. I mean, he becomes the chief of the Omaticaya. The forest Na'vi, as we learn in the movie, and has even raised a family of 4 children with his wife Neytiri, played by Zoe Saldana again, including a 5th child, that being the adopted child that comes from Dr. Grace from the first movie, as she was born from her body's avatar after Sigourney Weaver died. And Sigourney Weaver's character, Sigourney Weaver herself plays now the daughter. She plays the role of Kiri, albeit throughout the movie, I thought the other characters kept saying her name was Kitty, honestly. Like, I could have sworn her name was Kitty, and I just was like, because they look like cats? Is this a joke? Albeit, I didn't know that was Sigourney Weaver the whole time, so I'll give it that. That was impressive on a technical level. Anyways, plot. So after, I guess, the same amount of time this movie came out after the first, so more than half a decade, I guess, the humans are back. The evil ones, including the Colonel, played by Stephen Lang from the first movie, whose memories were implanted in the humans' avatars, or new avatars, and now with them back on Pandora. Lang and the other humans are after Sully and his family, so they leave the Omaticaya tribe, they leave their tribe and head off into literal uncharted waters of a different Na'vi clan, known as the... I'm sorry for dire fans who memorize this. I'm just going to say they're the Fish Na'vi, or Water Na'vi, or whatever. Where they hide out, go through some arc, stuff, plot. I don't know. I'm tired. And I'm filming this, like, the next day after I saw this movie. And you know what? I was tired when this movie was over, because that movie was 3 hours long. And man, okay, I saw other long movies this year, like The Batman or Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and while those movies were both long and almost close to 3 hours, I never got tired or felt the runtime in either film, but here I just wanted it to end. Hell, this is the longest film I watched this year, and I just didn't leave in a good mood, which might be because of how I saw it. I wasn't in a good mood because, well, Every review will say they saw on the biggest screen possible, or whatever, but for me, I think it was for the best because watching this movie in 3D gave me a headache several times. My eyes were starting to kill me. I had to take off the 3D glasses, rub my eyes, then put it back on, and hope to God it wouldn't give me another headache. Because, I had to try to figure out if the 3D was even working for me or not. Like, I don't know. Something like when the opening logo for me, it's like I can tell it's in 3D more than the actual movie itself. I don't know why. I don't know if 3D is something my mind just registers correctly. I can't recall much as a kid being blown away by 3D ever. Like, I definitely saw movies as a kid in 3D back when that was like the big thing growing up. And I don't know if it ever did work. But like, I saw Top Gun Maverick. I didn't in non-3D, like I didn't see that 3D. I saw it on a normal screen, but I still felt like I was there in the cockpit of a jet and stuff. Like, it is good filmmaking that, I don't need to see in 3D for it to work. It would enhance it, but I was still in a great mood watching it without that. So I didn't know this looking up once the movie was... I didn't know this looking it up until once the movie was done, but I think maybe the problem was not the 3D, but the frame rate constantly changing. And while the movie can be praised for its visuals, and I will too, because of course they are, they're beautiful. It's so original and gorgeous and flawless to a fault. I'm not upset I didn't see this in IMAX. I've been on 3D rides at theme parks where it's somewhat fun, then I'm left with a headache afterwards. And sure, they're literally also shaking you around. Like, that's not just, oh man, you wear 3D glasses on a moving seat. Like, no, it is the ones that are shake on, but it's not the shaking that gets me into headache, it's just my eyes. I'm like, ugh. And I guess 3D is just something not for me. Albeit, I do wish, and maybe this is something I rather wish 3D do, like, it's not that it enhances the visuals. I would love it if the 3D does make it pop out. Like, there's a scene in Life of Pi where, I didn't see this in 3D, but there is a part where they apply bars on screen, which is obvious, but they utilize it to the 3D of the fish, because the fish in the film are, springing out of the water. And the movie's aspect ratio and the bars at the same time are where the fish are. Like, the fish is both on the bars and in the film. So it does create the illusion where if I saw this in 3D, it would totally have fooled me into thinking this fish was popping out at me. Where on the big screen in a dark theater, it totally could have fooled me, I think. I don't know. I didn't see it in 3D, so maybe I'm wrong. But I think that might not be something that helped me out, since maybe 3D is just a me problem. Now, with all that said, what about the story? It is fine. I don't know what else to describe it as. It's just fine. I mean, I had so many problems with it. Like, okay, it's predictable, and the message is so obvious. Like, if you expect anything that much better than the first, it's, I guess, somewhat better, somewhat worse. And if your least favorite part of that movie was Jake Sully character, here, he was definitely my biggest problem. He's not a blank slate in this movie. He's now a father, but he is an awful father. The whole movie is about him wanting his family's safety. But there is no scene in this movie, besides the montage at the beginning, where I felt like he was a good father, let alone a good person. Most scenes in this movie are just him berating his children for their faults, making decisions more so than what his family wants. Like, I get the idea of making a tough decision, but it really does feel like it's only his opinion that counts. Every scene following with him being worried about them is then followed with him berating his children. Not once can I recall a moment where he honestly just wanted to hang out with his kids because it'd be nice, or, we can relax. Like, there's this thing where there's, at any chance they could get killed, but when there's that middle segment in the middle where that's just thrown out the window and they just do whatever, it would have been nice that maybe they had a family bonding scene or something. I don't know. I wish maybe he'd look out for his kids more, because if the kids keep getting into trouble, maybe he should do a better job of looking after his kids, instead of just saying, why didn't you look out for him? Can you look out for him, or get someone you do think would be responsible enough to do it? And speaking of another problem, is that Sully makes the same mistake as the first movie, where he leads the humans to the Na'vi, because where he abandoned his clan after joining the Water Na'vi, because it's like he doesn't want to put his old clan in danger because they're only after him. He goes to this Water Na'vi, asks them for their protection, and my first thought was, wouldn't this just now put this entire tribe, who has no business with the humans, at risk? There's something that kind of connects to the plot, but like, pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure they wouldn't have been at war if it wasn't for Jake Sully's arrival. I mean, what would you think would happen now? Like, what, do you think they'd just be fine? Obviously there needs to be conflict, but like, my brain was just like, no, just say no, this is stupid. And then there's even more problems with that I can't even just say without getting into spoilers. And even when this comes into play, it just feels so much like a time could have been trimmed down from that moment to the climax. The other characters are, for the most part, passable, but my other problems, okay, let's see. Oh yeah, look, I don't hate the first movie story. It's fine. I get people who are only into these movies for the visuals, and it's like, just because it's a simple story doesn't make it bad, or it's a cliche story, but it's done so well, because we have such a new way to see it, I get it. And honestly, I don't hate the movie at all for its story, just because, oh, it's dances and wolves in space, or whatever. It's just, I wouldn't mind a simple story if it had interesting characters. And every character is on the surface of being interesting, and they are not actually interesting at all. They are close to being interesting, and I didn't care about one of them. Kiri, I think, is Jesus in the Avatar movies now, since she doesn't know who her father is, but she seems to have a connection to the god Pandora, and since she just magically came to birth from Grace's Avatar thing, I'm like, I'm just thinking, so is she gonna be like the chosen one in these movies now? Like, my guess is that she will be the chosen ones in these movies, because she'll bring peace to humans, because she's a Na'vi who will fall in love with the human spider. Oh, I forgot. So, Spider is, so they have this other interesting idea they never really do much with, where he's Lang's character's son, which I am thankful they didn't do some twist where it's like, oh, he's the son of the bad guy from the first movie. I am thankful they didn't do that. I actually thought they were smarter than they were when they mentioned this. And it goes down a path I'm pretty sure was not only predictable where they could have done with this, but every time it cuts back to him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this movie, because they don't do enough with it. I don't know. He's too young for cryosleep to go back to Earth, so he's raised on Pandora with Jake's family too. It's just, there's so much that could have been done with this movie. Like, obviously it would literally just be the Jungle Book, but you know, on Pandora. It's just, man, I wish these characters were more interesting. Yeah, characters were passable in that they did the arc I knew they would have to accomplish, but that's pretty much it. I didn't even know what most of these characters' names were during the movie. I just went, older brother, younger sister, older, younger sister. No, wait, that's not Kiri. Why does this character exist? This character has nothing for the plot. This character is just a plot device. To the point where a character could die and I just couldn't care. Of all my bitching, I still think it's an okay movie. And I'm glad I saw it in theaters despite my headache. Visually, it's nothing like I've seen before, obviously. It is impressive on a technical level in every way. They literally developed motion capture technology underwater. It is a literal groundbreaking film. And I can tell that it's something that isn't made just for a cash grab. I mean, it's greenlit because, yeah, but like visually, it's just nothing like I've seen before. James Cameron's visually, it's something like I've seen before. It really does feel like there was passion and heart put into it by James Cameron, who really spent years making this. And like you can tell about the movie's way of water. Yeah. James Cameron's passion for the sea. As someone who, I do remember going to see his Deep Sea Challenge documentary in IMAX as a kid, because I went to like some museum where they were playing it, and I don't know if I remember it well enough to be like, oh yeah, the Avatar guy, or something. Because he has a love for the ocean and sea creatures. That is evident here, and I love the designs, the descriptions in these characters, to give these species feel real. You do feel like you're with these people in the ocean or on land. It's all good and whatever, but honestly, I don't really know what else to say besides that. Like, it's one thing to just say it and that had great action and visuals, but rather I see it myself than describe it. It met my expectations of what I wanted the sequel to be, and like, if you had to ask me what was I expecting, honestly, just a bit more. I don't know what I would have done. Maybe like, what would I have done? I just trim it maybe, or cut out a few characters. That's honestly what I would do. It doesn't have to be a magnum opus of James Cameron's career, or oh man, we already got more sequels. Will we make the best movie possible? Therefore, every other movie looks worse. I don't know. It's just, I do wish it was a bit better. I mean, it took years and hundreds of millions of dollars to perfect the CGI. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. The story isn't great. It's not lazy. It's just too familiar, too simple. Or maybe it's not. I just don't know. I'm sure I'm upsetting people when I say this. It's just the characters were really nothing interesting to me. The world is interesting, the characters are boring. I don't know any of the tribe members. Like, unless the character is, like, given a speaking line, I'm like, And sure, the villains themselves are whatever. I was actually thinking, like, Stephen Lang was now going to be, I don't know, a smaller character, because I thought the actress they got for the new military boss was more interesting, just because I like the performance. She's like, she disappears halfway through the film. Plus, the reason why they need Stephen Lang's character return kind of makes no sense when I just thought, didn't they still have the technology to do this? Did they destroy it? Can they not make new ones? But whatever, nitpicking aside, because of course I have to be a buzzkill. I just... Would I ever see this movie again if I had the chance to go see it? I mean, if I got a free ticket, like to go see it in IMAX, maybe, just to know, maybe it would have been better if I did see it in IMAX. But, like, I never saw Gravity in theaters, and at home watching it, I do feel like I'm missing out on the full potential of watching it on the big screen. However, I still enjoy the movie a lot, and unless someone gave me the free ticket, as I said, to an IMAX screen, no way of water would I watch again. Okay, maybe I would. Or maybe without the 3D. I don't know. Maybe my own nauseating experience watching the movie is my own fault, because it is. But maybe there's always hope that the next time I see it, it will go from a point up. Yeah, that's the way I have to end this year, you know. The way I end it is that it's a thumbs up, followed by good job. I give Avatar: The Way of Water a 6 out of 10.